excited to welcome the IoTeX co-founders for a special panel presentation. So we got Rowland, we got Kevin, and we got Jing. Hey guys, how's it going?
Hi, everyone. Great.
Hello.
Hope everyone
Yeah,
had
doing great, doing great.
Hello, everyone.
What an amazing year, you know. It's not enough time in one 1 hour session to even go. We can go for 3 hours, I think, to talk about the year that we had. But, 2021 was just one of the breakout years across many different categories. But, want to start, why don't you guys give a short introduction about yourself and just share one of your favorite memories of 2021 to kick things off?
Sure. So this is Roland, like a co-founder of IoTeX. We started IoTeX back in 2017, Q4. It has been almost 4 more years, right? So what time flies. So before that, I was the leading cryptography team at Uber and the security team at Google, for the past 6 years. So basically, having the team building around the infrastructure, security, and privacy for the users for the cloud services. And even before that, I was doing my PhD in U Waterloo. So that's where I got into blockchain, like really early, around 2012, 2013-ish, where like a Bitcoin just came out. So that's a very simple intro about myself. For the best memory for this year, it's like a really hard question because we have too many like sweet memories for this year. And I would think like my best memory is around our Coinbase listing, definitely like for sure. That definitely like opens up lots of opportunities for IoTeX in the future.
Awesome. I love the lineup of IoTeX devices behind you too.
Yeah, I do.
The UCam, the Pebble, and the Ledger. Hopefully all those will be available on VitaMart very soon. But thanks for joining us, Rowland. Kevin, give us a short intro and let us know your favorite memory of 2021.
Yeah, hello, everyone. I'm Kevin. Yeah, I'm co-founder of IoTeX. Before starting IoTeX together with Roland and Jing, I worked as a research scientist at Facebook. Before that, I was doing my PhD in National University of Singapore. I did a lot of research on machine intelligence. Yeah, right now, we are all working on MachineFi. The most memorable moments. Actually, there's quite a few. We actually achieved quite a lot this year, and we launched a lot of new products and V2 or V3s on even many, new versions for a lot of our products. Each time when we launch products, I try to get into the community and hear the feedback. Each time when we actually see very good feedbacks from the community, I know we are doing the right thing. Yeah, I really enjoy doing that. This is my most memorable moments.
Awesome. And it paid off because all the products are now, not only user-friendly, but also used by hundreds of thousands of people globally. So we'll look forward to more amazing tools in 2022. Thanks, Kevin. Jing, give us a short intro and please share your favorite memory of 2021.
Sure. Hi, my name is Jing, one of the co-founder of IoTeX. My background, actually, I'm a VC turned entrepreneur, right? So used to be investing in all those frontier tech companies, startups in Silicon Valley for the past, 8-9 years. And now I kind of just transition myself into the Web3 and start to incubate, seed, invest in IoTeX ecosystem project. And I think just I extend my passion, to kind of find those what's the next moonshot, but actually just in the entire kind of Web3 space. I think just a lot of the good memory in 2021. This is a phenomenal year for us, definitely. But I would say the most memorable definitely is the launch of MachineFi. Yeah, and actually just when the community they see our just as the front stage, we launched our website, we launched our vision paper. Actually, just my most memorable moments is kind of just months of the work before the launch, especially the kind of the 2 weeks, right? So we have the 2 weeks preparation, we all of us get into the war room before the launch of the MachineFi website And even the first time we get our NYC team flew into Silicon Valley, and we hire, we kind of rent a house and everybody, there, and brainstorm on whiteboard and talk a lot of the things about MachineFi, how we define a lot of things, right? How we kind of just like launch the product, how we launched, explain all those terms, because it's brand new to IoTeX even, right? And it's brand new to the entire crypto industry. So many memories. And, we are so happy and excited when we finally launched this, MachineFi vision. And we require tremendous kind of interest from the community as well as from our partners and the future kind of developers, enterprises. So this kind of gave us the confidence, we are in the right direction to drive the machine economy in the Web3 direction. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jing. Yeah, so much to look back on, this year. But I just want to start with Rowland for a question for you, right? We talked a little bit earlier about the infrastructure that we introduced to IoTeX this year: cross-chain bridges, Web3 compatibility, all these different, mainnet code releases. But from your perspective, what does this all mean? Why do we make the decisions that we did, and how will these infrastructure and large initiatives play out in the future?
Yeah, I think this is like one of the greatest decisions we have made like early this year. Basically, to add in a very thin layer on top of existing like a IoTeX API layer to make it Web3 compatible. So what does it mean? It basically means like all the developers who's already doing some work on Ethereum, like a BSC or Polygon, so they can just port over their work to IoTeX pretty easy, effortless. They have costs, right? So they can basically like just switch the RPC endpoint, plug in with IoTeX chain, then everything just works. So this reduces lots of frictions for developers because in the Web3 world, developer basically provides productivity. So we need this kind of productivity to kick into IoTeX ecosystem to make it like grow. So that's why like I think we definitely like get a very good result out of that. So we have like 100 more projects. I think Larry told me like 127-ish projects already on iOS. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, by end of this year. So we have realized our goal actually. So this also like propose like new challenges, also features for the IoTeX blockchain. For example, how do we make the chain more scalable? Like there are lots of hackers out there, trying to attack our chains. There are lots of, people who's trying to dig out like the vulnerabilities on the chain to take down the chain. For sure, the chain is decentralized, but still we have to make it like a very robust and also very reliable, right? So there's a lot of like engineering work we will be doing in 2022 with the infra team. And another very interesting like one is definitely like this chain has integration with lots of major components in the crypto space. For example, Chainlink, I think is a very major one. That's coming very soon. So definitely once Chainlink Oracle gets alive on IoTeX, this opens the door for the next wave of like DeFi, NFT, and even some GameFi projects. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think for the chain part, we have done like a pretty well this year.
Absolutely. The chain is a pleasure to use, as a person that, tests all the other chains out there, their wallets, their explorers, their bridges. IoTeX is definitely the best user experience in my eyes. And a lot of that has to do with the work that Kevin has been doing, right? So Kevin is kind of the lead of the product section of IoTeX. User experience is one of the most important things to bring crypto to the mainstream, right? Maybe share some of the progress that IoTeX has made on the UI UX side and the tooling and what we have planned for 2021.
Yeah, I totally agree. User experience is very important to bring crypto and blockchain to the mass adoption. We have done a lot this year. Let me cover some important ones. Yeah, Ronan actually mentioned the very important one, which is Web3 compatible. Our stable interface, which was launched in May. I think we are the one of the first L1 chains to support Web3. I want to mention here is not only crypto users who can easily use MetaMask to access the blockchain, access IoTeX, but also the developers can use a lot of existing developer tools like Hardhat, Truffle, Remix, Web3, JS, Web3.js, EtherJS, and Subgraph. There are many tools available right now also to build dApps on IoTeX. And IoPay, IoTeX official wallet, has also grown greatly this year. The active users have exceeded 120,000 across more than 200 countries globally. And IoPay keeps improving over time. We are right now at the corner of launch IoPay 2.0, which will support multi-chain assets and dApps. Currently, we are doing a closed beta testing, and we work with a lot of community members who are very good to give feedbacks. And the open beta will be very soon. Another thing, MachineFi portal is also launching in a couple weeks. Again, MachineFi portal will be very intuitive UI and easy to use. User can register their machines and install apps and let their machines to connect to IoTeX and TrueStream and even other blockchains in the future as well. And the developers can build their dApps with machines just as easy as smart contract development. Yeah, this year, I think people are mentioned quite a bit IoTeX Scan. We did a V2, which is a very brand new and much faster infrastructure, and that supports smart contract verification and listing all the tokens on IoTeX Scan with prices and address converter natively built in, so user can choose IO addresses or 0x addresses for their own convenience. There are many more to come in the new year. And IoTube as well. We launched the V5 this year, and currently it is supporting more than 130 million worth assets now. And in the new year, we will launch a new version, which is the next milestone. So first, much greater experiences. User can transfer their assets between different blockchains directly without using IoTeX as the intermediate step. Adding a token is also will take much less time. The relayer mechanism is also improved a lot. User can relay directly after validators confirms, so they can choose whenever to withdraw their funds from in the destination chain. They do not need to wait for the relayer queue. The last but not the least, they will support cross-chain smart contract costs as well. Yeah, and there are many more to come. Very excited. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just go back. I think all these tools, they're not only individually, but they synchronize together, right? And that's really the part of the end-to-end user experience. So more versions to come. We'll probably be at IoTube V10 by the end of 2022. But these are all really, really amazing things. All the infrastructure that Kevin just mentioned really fueled the start of DeFi, GameFi, and NFTs on IoTeX, as we mentioned. Over 100 plus projects and partners building really amazing, ready to use dApps on IoTeX today. But this year, we also presented our view for the future, which is MachineFi, right? MachineFi was one of the biggest announcements we made this year, representing a new paradigm for Web3, opening up this blockchain and IoT design space. So Jing, I just wanted to get your thoughts on MachineFi overall, and how do you think this evolves into 2022?
Sure. Yeah, I think MachineFi is the biggest announcement, actually just like the new vision for IoTeX. But I have to say MachineFi is beyond IoTeX, even beyond IoTeX 2.0. MachineFi is a brand new paradigm for the entire crypto industry. And also this is a kind of natural evolvement from, our IoTeX original, vision. We started in 2017. We want to be, the open decentralized infrastructure to power the IoT and machines. And then we keep building and we keep learning. Eventually, I think this year, the very big thing is, the entire team, we keep kind of understanding what's the biggest value we can bring to the entire machine economy when we see all the advancement of the technology in the machine space, like the AIs, like the autonomous car, like all those productivity in machines definitely kind of advanced in the past decades. But at the same time, just like what is missing here or lacking here is we need to answer the question, when we see machine will be the future workforce in the next decades, and then who will own this machine economy, right? And then just like we figure out this is the biggest problem, and we can address with the MachineFi vision, which means just like we provide the solutions that provide the kind of alternative kind of ways to drive how the machine will advance, who will really be the owners. And in our vision, users and the contributor in the machine network or the community, they will be the ultimate owners of the entire economy, which means just like their contributions to the machine network will be eventually kind of rewarded. And so that just like I will say, the MachineFi is beyond IoTeX vision. Actually, MachineFi is the new paradigm for the entire machine industry. And our way will be totally different from the Web2 vision. Actually, just like we want to make it a really kind of open source and transparent, and bring down all the access and make kind of the market really free market, so that this is a collaborative efforts. We want all those builders, including enterprise, including the hardware developers, including the Web3 developers, including all the communities. They can all join this vision together, and we are one of the early pioneer, and we kind of just as we are the first organization kind of initiate this efforts or revolution, and try to define the concept clearly to the community. And within the past 2-3 months, after we launched this MachineFi vision, we received a tremendous kind of interest from all type of the organizations, partners, and which also just like they showed the the interest want to join together. I think this is a very big kind of indicator to tell MachineFi is actually align all the interests from different type of the group of people. Yeah,
absolutely.
And then
absolutely.
Like, yeah, for 2021, we will say we lay the foundation. We come up with a vision paper, and we build all the kind of the component independently. And 2022 will be the big year. We will see kind of the real launch of all those components, including the true streams, including the MachineFi portal, including the MachineFi marketplace, including the DApp store for MachineFi applications, right? We will see the first batch of the MachineFi application will be launched on the IoTeX, which personally I'm very, very excited about that.
Me too. I can't wait, and definitely gonna jumpstart a lot of these numbers with MachineFi, right? It's going to be a really incredible journey to see how it evolves throughout 2022. Taking a pause back at this sheet really summarizes the entire year that IoTeX had in 2021. One thing that isn't on this screen is the growth of the team and the growth of the community that Art mentioned. But talking specifically about the team, right? I know most of the co-founders these days are talking to new prospects, new partners, new investors. But how is the growth of the IoTeX team looking in 2021? Maybe summarize some of the new hires that we had, Rowland, and also talk about our plans to grow the team in 2022.
Yeah, so definitely like IoTeX is not a small project anymore, right? So I think internally, like we have these 6 core functions. We are trying to kind of build and put key talents under these 6 functions. So one is infrastructure. So we hire some very high quality engineers this year, from Google, from Facebook, from Uber as well. So which will keep building like a infrastructure, like a blockchain, TrueStream, and everything we have. So products is like a second function, like Kevin is leading. definitely Kevin has got a lot of good talents on the front end engineer, full stack engineer, PM as well. The third one is the research. Yeah, so this is definitely like Xinxin is leading this function as well. So research is about how do we understand and comprehend like the market, the crypto industry, and also provide like a dedicated solution for IoT companies who wants to turn into like a MachineFi project, right? So that is like a research function. The fourth one is like the marketing function. So definitely like we have art on board and we have like a few other people on board, to make our marketing even greater. So community is another one, which is very important, which basically covers like the dev side as well as like the, just like a normal people side. So we have Dan, Dario, I think Simon here is trying to just working on this community thing. The final one I think I'm very deeply involved with is like a biz dev, or we call it like a partner function. So this is a function like we basically outreach to many like investors, projects, builders, developers, try to have them, on board onto IoTeX. So we definitely like have a Ben also joining us on biz dev like for a few months, and we will have another 1 or 2 hires also join us on the biz dev team. So definitely like internally, we're setting up these 6 core functions and we're putting more talents under this one. So even more importantly, right? So how do we build like an extension of the core team? Because in the core team, we can, by the way, we already like a double or triple size of the core team this year, but that's not enough, because IoTeX have a massive vision for the MachineFi. So we definitely like need even more people. So we have to build like an extension of the core team. So that's our like a developer community as well as like other community people. So that's why like we're very actively looking into some DAO oriented governance. I think Dan is actually taking lead on this one, trying to do some research, trying to architect how this DAO works for our community. And we also have some like a Halo grants, so that's how we engage with third party projects as well as builders, as we successfully onboard at least like a 20 projects just using Halo grants. Some of the great ones like a Treasure Land, Field Up, Blade, Fortube, the Magic Lab, Rock Dog. Yeah, just so many to mention here. But next year I think it will still be like a very good for IoTeX. So we aim to even like adding more talents onto the IoTeX team. So if you are interested into joining us, definitely like give us a shout at hello@iotex.io.
Yeah, that's really the crux of all of it, right? Expanding the team, scaling out the possibilities of what IoTeX can do as a platform. So you heard it from the man himself. If you guys are interested in chatting with us about how to get involved, whether as an ambassador, a DAO member, or a core team member, shoot out a note to us at hello@iotex.io or get in touch with one of our admins on Telegram. So excited to grow the team as well a lot next year. Growing the team allows us to grow out more important core pillars of the platform also, right? Of course, there's a community in the marketing side, but also on the protocol and the tooling side, scaling up the team so we can improve the blockchain and improve the layer 2 stuff. So many different primitives came out this year across cross-chain bridges, NFT marketplaces, governance infrastructure with Snapshot, and the list goes on, right? Kevin, maybe, summarize a little bit about, that application infrastructure cycle, about what the infrastructure we built this year means for the project, and what are the most important additions that you can envision for the infrastructure in 2022 and the tooling.
Yeah, sure. So first, I also want to talk a little bit why those pillars matter. IoTex's mission is to connect the digital world, and all the developers will build together to achieve that. And as a result, user will enjoy decentralized digital world without hassle. The pillars, the tools IoTeX brought in and keep improving, something like cross-chain bridge, NFT marketplaces, governance tools, MetaMask Web3 support, TrueStream. I think they all come together to benefit the developers who build dApps easily on IoTeX, and the users interact with IoTeX blockchain easily. A typical development turnaround on a traditional machine-related app, not mentioning the decentralized dApps, could be more than 6 months long. With these tools, we expect the whole development can be reduced to even a couple weeks, given some developers working on the hardware related, some developer working on the data related, some developer can benefit and build their dApps directly. In 2022, there are quite a few on the roadmap. Let me briefly talk about the MachineFi related. MachineFi portal I mentioned earlier, it will allow all devices to be registered on IoTeX network and interactive with the blockchain. That will be launching very soon in a couple weeks. TrueStream in Q1 next year, which is a layer 2 computational oracle for machines. It will receive and process and compute the data from the machine and feed to smart contracts if needed. So it's basically connect the machines to blockchains. Machine identity in Q2. We are working with many notable enterprises together on a IEEE standard of identity of things. In Q2 next year, we will have this DID for machines, which is an open hardware spec. MachineFi Marketplace in Q3, a very easy place for people to participate in machine finance with different community projects and tokens. Yeah, just imagine. Corruption data bridge in Q4. This will allow corruption data interoperable between blockchains. Yeah, you can imagine the possibilities of MachineFi across different L1 blockchains. Yeah, I think this is briefly the roadmap IoTeX is bringing on the MachineFi related. I'm very excited to see all this happening in the new year.
Absolutely. And, shout out to the community or call out to the community. All of this stuff is going to be very first of its kind innovations, right? So we need your help to test out, starting with the MachineFi portal that Kevin mentioned. It's launching probably within the next week for those that have Pebble trackers, and all these other toolings that IoTeX is literally inventing or introducing for the very first time. I think is a really cool task as a community member to try out these first of its kind of innovations. So definitely join our Discord channel, and there will be more calls out for contributions and support going forward. But thanks for the overview, Kevin. Exciting blockchain roadmap, DApp roadmap, and of course, tooling roadmap for 2022. Jing, we saw through my presentation, Simone's presentation, and Art's presentation, the metrics on IoTeX are just skyrocketed, right? 10x, 20x in a lot of these different categories really shows the strength that 2021 had. So the size and the reach and the developments all increased by double-digit metrics. How do we continue this momentum in 2022? What are the most important things on your mind to continue this momentum?
Yeah, definitely. Just like 2021, we kind of just like build all the foundation, and we have the initial growth, which looks like 10 times already, but actually this is just the beginning. Why? Because actually just like 2021, our focus is how we, besides the initial growth, we kind of build up the infrastructure or those building blocks in terms of resources, in terms of team structure, in terms of the tools to make sure 2022 we are ready for the exponential growth. So which means just like IoTeX, our mode is kind of starting from the the market fit, kind of setting the market fit direction to the growth mode, right? So I would say there are several ways really can drive the growth of IoTeX. Number one is this year, by end of this year, actually we already have around over 100 ecosystem projects. I would say with the the launch and the growth of those, ecosystem projects, each of the ecosystem projects, they will drive the adoption. So our job is we help, all those, ecosystem projects to launch on IoTeX successfully, right? To kind of help them to get their market fit, help them to have kind of their, great, usage and bring the value to the community. And each of the project, you can imagine, they can bring, 10,000 or 100,000 of the users into the IoTeX ecosystem through their, multi-chain, through the multi-chain capability, or just like, we are very focused on unique kind of, group of projects which are MachineFi related or real world usage related, like, some of the project, like, health blocks, they will make, the health data mining, possible, right? We will have the, a lot of the native projects, which kind of, they started their journey in IoTeX. And, they provide unique utility, unique kind of experience to the IoTeX ecosystem. And we see this group of the project, when they launch, they will bring a huge number of the, adoption to the IoTeX ecosystem. And another group where we are kind of actively working with is we are talking to a lot of the innovative machine companies and the machine, community. Machine companies means, those startups, they already been working on those innovative machine devices, products like, 3D printers, like, smart devices, like fitness, device, medical devices, right? Or even just like, the car vehicle dongles, solar panels, all those, projects, actually just like, we will help them to transition from Web 2 to Web 3. And then they will be just launched natively on IoTeX chain for the first time, and also drive the millions of the users or hundred thousands of the users from their existing community to the IoTeX for the first time to experience the Web3, benefits and start to, kind of enjoy the Web3, for the first time. And we see this as a unique source, for IoTeX to acquire users. It's not only kind of benefit IoTeX chain, IoTeX ecosystem, it will eventually kind of benefit the entire crypto industry. This is how we kind of, the entire crypto and Web3 industry, we kind of transition from the 5% of the adoption to the 20% of the early adoption to the masses. Yeah, I think just like all those kind of pillars will help, IoTeX ecosystem to, just like, to keep growing exponentially in the next year. But we are not only looking at 2022. We are looking at the next decade. We will see that the next decade, by end of 2030, this 12 trillion value market, right? How we can kind of just like lead them into the Web3 vision. It has to start with a new, innovative projects. When they start their devices, when they start to build their, products, right? So they already kind of build in these Web3 tools, and they already kind of just like bring this, user ownership into their new product. I think that's an important part. We want to work on in the next few years.
That's awesome. I really like the way you said that, Jing. I think our journey to date has been making devices that we've built alongside partners compatible with IoTeX. And the real prize is if we can allow other people to, even without our help, use IoTeX as a platform permissionlessly to bring their devices on board. And this is where the scalability really comes from, right? We can only manufacture so many UCAMs and Pebble trackers. Hardware's hard. But enabling those Web 2 hardware providers to find new utility, it's exactly why we created UCAM with Tenvis in the first place, and bringing that to more people, I think is going to be amazing, right? So, we covered a lot, throughout this past 1.5 hours, talked a lot about the past in 2021, talked about a lot of the future plans in 2022. Outside of IoTeX, I would want to ask you guys to close with one bold prediction for 2022. What's going to be the hot trend? This year was NFTs and DAOs, and I'm sure there's going to be an overlap in answers as far as what we're interested in. But what's one bold prediction as far as a trend for 2022? And yeah, just give us a closing comment as well. Ryan, you want to kick that off?
Yeah, MachineFi, right, for sure.
That's true.
Like innovation often happens like in the Web3 space. in a like a low hanging fruit way, right? So for example, if like DeFi is a very low hanging fruit, if you just do a smart contract, maybe 200 lines of code, you can have an innovation just work. I think this trend actually, trickles down to the physical world in a way. So that's why like a MachineFi is not something that's coming this year. That's not something coming even like the year before this year, but it's definitely like coming next year or next year, like the year after next year, right? So that's why like we already like internally we either incubated or like invested or like work with our machine companies, on 5 or 6 like directions for this MachineFi project. I think next year, so we will have them, to be launched, some sort of sequence. Once we have, proved like the adoption for MachineFi projects to the market, to the entire crypto space, I definitely think there will lots of people or like projects follow this trend to turning their like IoT devices into a MachineFi mineable products. Yeah, so I have no idea if like something others will pop up. And like there are lots of things in the crypto that will pop up anytime. But definitely, what I'm sure about is like a MachineFi, which we are being working on.
The best thing is MachineFi is more of a horizontal than a vertical, right? It stretches across DeFi, stretches across GameFi, touches DAOs, touches NFTs. Machines are really the source of proof for a lot of these use cases. So exciting to see how that turns out. Thanks, Rowland. Kevin, share with us a bold prediction for 2022 as far as what you expect from the industry and from IoTeX.
Yeah, can I also choose MachineFi?
For sure,
you can choose MachineFi. Yeah. There's going to be an overlap.
Yeah, I would say, Ronan said a lot of, regarding to MachineFi, and this is actually what we are trying to bring together with all the developers to the mass adoption. There are a lot of other kind of like original DeFi and GameFi and SocialFi. There are so many different FIs. But one thing I'm thinking about it could be different type of like FIs can merge together as well. Think about MachineFi together with GameFi, so that people do not only do the machines only for utility, but also for some games as well. One example might be we talked in the past that Pebble Tracker can also provide true hardware generated and based on the environment variables, the true randomness numbers. This can actually will be a good addition to GameFi. Yeah, for this instance, and also for different type of like tokenomics, this can also merge with at least DeFi, but also GameFi, and there can also come together with some human interaction altogether. Those are related to the SocialFi as well.
Definitely,
yeah, that's one of my prediction. Yeah.
I love that last point you made about the gamification, and it starts to turn into more even like a data science kind of question, right? Like how do you create these decentralized networks where the incentives are in equilibrium and there's a win-win-win solution across everybody, right? So machines will be providing that data, but there's also a whole DApp design, tokenomics design that will pair with MachineFi, which could be DeFi oriented, could be GameFi oriented. So I'm also very personally excited about that. Thanks for that answer, Kevin.
Yeah, cool.
And finally, Jing, share with us your bold prediction for 2022 and your general thoughts.
Yeah, so I'm really just like bullish about two things. One is how we can finally kind of financialize the real world value and utility in the Web3. I think this is the missing part right now. In 2020 and 2021. Actually, we see the growth of DeFi from traditional Fi to DeFi, right? I see 300 billion within two years, and this year definitely NFT, GameFi, and some of the social Fi, and 100 billion within 1 year. But you will see all those value is still kind of just like within virtual. So people kind of start to have the way to financialize things or utilities or kind of assets they create in the virtual space. But I would say just like 2022, I'm really kind of excited to see, and I already see, many projects. Some of the projects are from our partners, right? So they are working on how to financialize, the real world assets, real world data, real world utility in the Web3. I think this will open up the entire new class of the asset, which can be financialized in the Web3. So this is one part. Another part, and I think this is very relevant to the IoTeX MachineFi vision. And the second part, I'm really actually bullish on the DAO, DAO. Actually, just like the DAO here, I see this as, kind of natural evolvement in the crypto space. When we see, the Web3 is decentralized in the infrastructure or technical layer, and then just like how we organize the human resources and to get together to, kind of improve for example, the productivity in the Web3, because we attract so many talents, whether you are technical developers or you are, kind of evangelist, marketer, community members, all those people, they kind of get into, the space, right? And then how they can organize their, kind of coordination together. And especially for the decision-making part, and also the treasury management part. I will say this will be a big part. It's already kind of pain point for all the protocol projects and the layer 1 projects. And we will see there are a lot of innovation will eventually turn into the real product or the real kind of protocols. And in IoTeX, we are already started our kind of initiatives with different kind of DAOs, or just like, different, specifically, those DAOs which are related to kind of real world, right? So we will start you will see, some of the initiative be launching, early next year. And for some of them, they already kind of have their MachineFi NFT. And we decided to kind of make, all the MachineFi proceeds into a treasury DAO, and to start this, DAO, and make all the treasury kind of a decision made by the collectively by the community or the NFT NFT holders, right? And we will also kind of collaborate with other DAO organizations. It's kind of group efforts how to make the DAO work, right? So we will work together with the the rest of the project, so to kind of do a lot of experiments, right, to test a lot of models how this DAO can work, and eventually IoTeX ecosystem will be heavily rely on the DAO, no matter it's the human resources or it's machine resources. So that I think that part I'm really kind of passionate to explore the possibilities.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like if you combine these two things you mentioned about machine and DAO together, so this will create something very powerful, right? Like we are always talking about unmanned store, which is managed by a DAO, like a crypto city, which is managed by a DAO. Yeah, so that's definitely like the future.
Yeah,
I definitely agree. Today DAOs are not very decentralized and they're not very autonomous because of human subjectivity and the need to pause and coordinate, right? But unbiased machines that have preset goals, perfect for DAOs. So I think the machine DAO is definitely something that is going to be really exciting for us in 2022 for sure. What a year, guys. Writing these presentations and creating these graphics, it just makes you think about all the hard work the team has put in throughout the year. And more importantly, everyone even just listening right now, right? Thank you guys so much, right? None of this would have happened without you guys. Like we said, IoTeX is not just a platform anymore. We're a global family, global community, global project. And these numbers you see here are not just a reflection of the co-founders or the core team, but just everybody in the IoTeX ecosystem. So, as we close out this year, hope everyone is being safe and healthy at home, but just want to say, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much. And, we're going to continue this momentum into 2022. This is not completion of our journey in any sense. It's really just the start. So, guys, maybe just leave the community with some parting thoughts. Anything on your mind? Last time to speak to the community in 2021. Any final thoughts before we sign off?
No, I just want wish everybody have a great happy holiday. And definitely like we're have a lot of new things in 2022. So thanks for the presentation Larry is giving earlier. I think that's great, right? So that definitely summarize what we have been done in 2021. But definitely like there are even like more that's coming in 2022.
Absolutely.
So we will see you guys next year.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Jane, Kevin, any final thoughts here? Awesome.
No,
awesome.
I just want to say thank you. Thank you for everyone to support our tax vision. I think this is not only our vision, this is everyone's vision. We work together to make it a reality. I think every year end, our live stream is kind of mark a progress, a milestone we have achieved. So we want to do this live stream every year to do the year in review every year to see how far we have been worked on. Yeah.
Definitely. It seems like we're writing a 10-year review. Like 1 year in crypto is really a whole decade. It's crazy. But Kevin, final thoughts here.
Yeah, just the 2021 is great. Let's make a even better 2022. Yeah, hope everyone enjoying your holidays, and see you next year.
Yeah, thank you guys so
See you
much.
next
And just a
year.
reminder, we have just launched our brand new ecosystem page. So while you guys are hanging out with family and doing the holiday thing, staying safe and healthy, flick through some of the projects that you see here. All of the, take off these filters. All the 130 projects that have launched or are soon launching on IoTeX. These are real. You can go play with them, download IoPay, and just get involved. So check out the new ecosystem page. But thank you so much to the co-founders for stopping by. And happy holidays to you guys as well. We'll see everyone very, very soon.
Bye.
See you guys.